Hey, what's up guys? Today I want to talk about what to do if you only have about 15 minutes to practice. If you're like me, when you sit down to practice, you typically don't have, a solid hour or more to practice. Realistically, I only get like 15 to maybe 30 minutes at a time to practice, and we have to be very intentional with that time, especially when it's a short time like that. So I kind of want to give you my process that I've been doing to kind of help make the most out of this 15 to 30 minute practice time. So first thing I do is create a list at the beginning of the week of about 5 to 7 things that I want to practice or work on throughout the week. And I'll even write them down sometimes. Sometimes they're just in my head, but actually it's more helpful to write them down. I actually have a notebook right here where I just wrote down 5 things for this week that I want to work on. And just to give you some ideas, I'll share what I wrote down. So first thing on my list is major scale sequences. And what I mean by that is playing your scale degrees through, in this case, a major scale in like a pattern, like scale degrees 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a sequence like that. So that's something that I want to practice this week. And then I wrote down major pentatonics, something that I just want to brush up on. Haven't done it in a little while. Simple Things. It's just the name of a song. It's a really simple fingerstyle acoustic song that I want to learn for fun. Play What I Hear. Now this is a little exercise I haven't done in a while, which is why I wrote it down, where basically I just try to hear something in my head, a little melody, a little lick or something, and then try to replicate that on the guitar, try to actually play it. So try to hear it in my head and then play it. So that's an important thing to be able to do for any musician. And so I wanted to spend some time doing that. And then the last thing I put down was improv, which a lot of these things will kind of help me with, but want to spend some time just kind of working on improvisation skills and whatnot. So those are the 5 things that I wrote down for this week. Now you can write down whatever you want, but just try to keep your list somewhat short. If you get too many things on there, you won't get to all of them. And the whole idea of making a list is to kind of keep things focused, especially since we don't have a ton of time. So if we're only talking 15 minutes, we really want to stay focused and get the most out of that 15-minute block. So once I have my list for the week, when I actually go down to sit down and practice, I'll pick out about 2 or 3 of those things depending on how much time I have, and kind of split that up. So if I have 15 minutes, then I'm roughly spending 5 minutes on each item. Now, before I get into that though, I do a quick 2-minute warm up. I always try to make sure that I get a little warm up in, even if it's a short practice, I'll do a short warm up. If you don't currently have a warm up routine, I recently did a video on that, so you can go check that out real quick. So I picked out my 2 or 3 things that I'm gonna work on, and that's gonna help me stay focused. Now, sometimes I'll think of another thing as I'm playing that I wanna try to work on or hash out. And I'll try my best to not really go there. I wanna try to stay focused on the couple things that I picked out. And so what I'll do sometimes, if that something pops into my head, I'll just write it down, I'll add it to my weekly list, and then maybe get to it later. And I just do that because I don't wanna, the whole idea of this is to kind of get rid of distractions and to be able to focus on the things that I want to get done. If we only have 15 or so minutes, I don't want to try to cram too many things in there because I'll probably just end up really getting nothing done. And so it's important that we're intentional about that. And that brings me to my next thought, which is to take things slow and not to rush through things. As at least for me, if I only have 15 or 20 minutes to practice, I naturally want to try to get as much done as possible in that time frame, but really that's probably going to hurt me more than help me. So try to remember to slow down. It's okay to take things super slow and to just work out a couple things. You can just work on one thing for 15 minutes if you want to, and make that super focused time for those 15 minutes. I would rather just work on a couple things every single day for a little bit of time rather than cram a whole bunch of things in every single day, because in the long run, it'll pay off to just focus on a couple of things. So try this out if you're like me and you only have 15 to 30 minutes when you sit down and practice most times, and let me know in the comments how this works. Or maybe you come up with your own thing that helps you stay focused and on track in short amount of times. So I'd love to hear from you on that. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel as always, and I'll catch you next time.